Well, you reached Manesh Patel from Ichimoku Today is March 16, 2014. This is our bi-weekly video for the global markets where we cover everything from North America to Europe to Asia and so forth. Let's see exactly what's happening with our strong currencies. Remember, for the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing like South Africa, Norway, Oslo, um, Turkey, Switzerland have been very, very strong moving forward, and we've also been betting on China going down. So let's go see exactly what's going on now 2 weeks later. Before we begin, normal disclaimer: this is for education use only. If you decide to buy or sell anything, you're doing that at your own risk. All the charts today you're going to be basically seeing from eSignal. Here are my contact details here at info@eiicapital.com. You could also reach us at ichimokutrade.com, where you could access any of our free videos, email alerts, and so forth. One thing I'd like to highlight: you can go to our blog, which is at ichimokuwebsite.com, and you can see our trades of the week every week, which are taken from our email alerts. So I definitely would encourage that for everyone. So let's go and start looking at the charts right away. Let's go straight to Europe as we normally do. Let's go look at Germany. Let's go look at actually UK, since I have that up here. UK here on the weekly time frame. This is still going up here. Nothing really to talk about at all. This thing's just still going up. Resistance support on this one's going to be about 6,300, but it may sit there and start coming down. This is overextended, which you'll see just like majority of all the other markets out there. Okay, Germany. If you look here on the German market, we blew past the resistance of 79.46, which is here and here. So we went past that now. Remember, this was done 2 weeks ago was when we had our last video. So we basically have broken that resistance level there, and we're working our way still up higher. Support on this one, you could call any as support really right now, but support really doesn't matter. The minor support is going to be the resistance we broke. The key one, I think, would be about 77.84 if we could get back down to that level. France broke its resistance level at 37.97, and pretty much broke that resistance there. So we got to see exactly where it's going to go next. It's possibility of coming all the way to about 39.71, which is its next level up. Amsterdam here really hasn't broken its resistance level. It's trying to get to about 357 again. Hasn't quite got there yet, but this is starting to show signs of weakness right now, so I'll be very careful on this one going bullish. Spain here, it's sitting right at its resistance level at 86.51. Support on this would be 82.24. Italy, really not doing well at all, as you could see. It's not even close to its resistance at all. It's kind of gone all the way down here, and if it sits there and actually, if you look at this, if it sits there and holds its resistance 1654, 16,541, this thing does have a potential of going all the way down to possibility of 14,749. So Italy is very, very weak right now, and you probably could tell from all the fundamentals that you've been hearing. Nordic, still very, very strong here. You could see it's still continuing to go stronger, and you could hear from the daily side here that it's sitting there holding that minor support at 1180, which is very strong. So Nordic is still very strong. That's been moving forward. Oslo is very strong too. You could see it's not even showing a consolidation pattern as Nordic is. So Oslo is more strong than the Nordic market right now. It's heading towards resistance of 488. Switzerland, very strong here too. So this is probably the strongest one so far, but this is not even hesitating at all. Switzerland continues to keep on going higher. It's broke its resistance level at 76.73. Let's go to Turkey first. Turkey here, it broke its resistance at 46.41. Now it's trying to retest the high. It got to about 4,600 with retesting the high. Now it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens here. This was very, very strong last week, but we'll have to see exactly what happens with it this week. But this was very strong last week. Sorry, this was strong for the last couple of years. excuse me, let me rephrase this. This would be strong last year and going into this year, and then it finally pulled back to some signs, some weakness. So unlike Switzerland, it's not going as strong anymore. It's kind of pulled back. So this has weakened down, but Switzerland and Norway and Oslo are still very strong. But all of them started off pretty much the same together. Russia. Here you could see Russia hit its resistance level at 1608, bounced off there, and it's pretty much got to support level of 1500, bounced off there. So it's kind of swinging between 1500 and 1608, and it's got to make a decision which way it's going to go. Whatever decision it goes, it's going to either, if it breaks the support, it'll enter consolidation pattern, or could retest the lows. If it breaks the resistance, then it could sit there and get to the top of the range, which is about 1800. Turkey, we already covered. South Africa, some people say that South Africa is weakened. Well, it's at its resistance at 36,460, which it hasn't been able to break yet. So you can't really say that's weakened. However, it's weakened a little, but the bullish trend is still very, very strong intact on this one. All it has to do is break the 36,460. If it does not break that and goes below 35,198, this thing's going to have a high possibility of entering a major pullback, which would be interesting to see as we move forward. The next country that was being strong for a long time is Australia. Here, Australia is continuing to move up. It's broke its resistance at 5,028, still moving up here. You can see a little consolidation pattern here at the top based on the daily. But this thing is still very, very strong. It's been holding that green line all the way up. So this is very, very strong. So keep an eye on that one. So that looks strong there. Switzerland's been the strongest in the European area. Malaysia here, not really doing too good at all. It's bounced off its resistance at 1644. Support on this one's 1590. Let's go to Singapore market here. Singapore market's going up. It's kind of slowing down here. Support on this one's got about 5350. If it breaks that, this thing couldn't sit there and pull back to majorly to about 5200, which is major little support level there. Let's go look at the Indian Sensex market. Indian Sensex kind of bounced off its support level here that we had outlined, which is pretty much right here at 18,769. Got to the top of range at 19,691. It's at a very, very critical resistance now. What's going to do? If it needs to continue to move up, it's got to sit there and break that resistance level right now and retest the high. Retest this 20,000 level and keep on going. If it bounces off there, and then it's going to pretty much range and come all the way back to 18,769 and enter a consolidation pattern. So it's at a very critical junction right now. Tokyo, still very, very strong, bullish trending right now, and you're going to see that we're pretty much Japan too. So those are pretty much the strongest right now in the Asia area. You got Korea here really doing nothing except ranging between 270 and this 257. Okay, Hong Kong really doing nothing at all. It's almost at its resistance level of 23,429. It's really not doing anything at all. Right now it could be entering a counter trend, or it could sit there and go up, but in order for it to continue to keep on going up, it's got to break that 23,429. China, which we've been betting on going down, it held that resistance here that we had outlined a couple of weeks ago, and it's moving down. We're looking for it to get to our support at 2321, which would be the next major support that we're looking for it to get to. So it's pretty much moving as we've been talking about in the videos. Let's go to Middle East, which we kind of skipped over. Saudi Arabia really not doing anything, bounced off its resistance level 7,173. Support level on this guy is going to be about 68.11. Dubai is still going up slowly, but you can see here now it's starting to weaken here. It's consolidating, weaken, so maybe it's time for its major pullback. If it can sit there and pull back to about 1777, that would be a great level for it to pull back. Abu Dhabi, if you look here, is still very, very strong going to the top side. So among the Middle East countries, this is probably the strongest right now. But I mean, Dubai and Abu Dhabi are both almost moving in conjunction, because you could look at it percentage-wise. Let's go over to the Americas. Let's go look at the Dow. You could see here, still very, very strong. It's at its all-time high, as you guys can see. So it's uncharted territory as far as resistances is laid out. The S&P 500 is pretty much at its high now. You can see from here. Let's shrink this down. You can see we pretty much are getting to its high right here, which is laid out a couple of more points, about 1579, which would be its all-time high here for the S&P. But the Dow has reached its high, so I'm sure this will probably get there very soon too. Just a matter of when. NASDAQ, you don't kind of see that. It's a little weak. You can see here it's not even getting to its resistance levels right now. So this is weaker of all of them. So you can sit there and do a pairs trade where you could bet on the Dow against the NASDAQ or the S&P against the NASDAQ. And that'll be a great hedge moving forward. Canada, if you look here at Canada, TSX really doing nothing. Its resistance level is holding at 12,897, so that's been holding there. Mexico, which was strong, is pretty much now weakened. It's at a critical support level here. It's got to sit there and hold this level here this week and next week. If it doesn't, it's going to sit there and enter a major pullback, which does have a possibility going all the way down to about 40,000. So keep an eye on this one. Colombia, nothing really going on here. This thing's just sitting there slowly trickling down, but this is going into a bearish momentum. Argentina, you could see the big nice move up here. It's retesting its high. It's right at its resistance at 34.90 right now. So we got to wait and see what happens there. 2900 would be its support. Santiago, Chile, nothing really going on. Held its resistance at 46.33. It's at a support of 44.02. And then lastly, Brazil, nothing really going on. This thing's ranging between 63,383 and 55,685. So again, just a summary. On the U.S. side, the Dow is pretty much at its all-time high. S&P is behind it, and the Nasdaq's lagging. Really, none of the other countries in the Americas are very, very strong at all. Moving forward compared to the U.S. If you look at Asia, of course, China and Tokyo are the strongest right now, and then Australia right behind it. China is definitely very weak compared to all of them. And then if you look in the Europe side, you got pretty much Nordic, Oslo, and Switzerland, which are pretty much leading the pack. And then Dubai and Abu Dhabi are leading the pack as far as Middle East is concerned. Okay, that's it for this week. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.